Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. I'm glad you're here today, and you should be too. And today I'm going to take a look at these. And these are, you probably figured out already, it's little sanding discs that you can get for on your Dremel tools. And even though they're, fairly inexpensive and, readily available, they don't always come in the grits you want. Plus, whenever you have something you need sanded, like say perhaps you had a cab and you wanted to do the back of it real quick without putting it on a wheel or something, you want to just maybe touch up the back or touch up the edge, you can burn through these pretty quick because, well, not this particular one, but the ones that are just sandpaper with no backing, they tend to catch on little sharp corners and then it'll rip, and then you'll burn through a lot of them even faster. Okay, so my solution to that was these. Okay, now what this is a backed sanding disc that I made myself. And I'm going to show you how to do that today. All right, and this is the standard Dremel disc, sanding disc holder thingy. And this is a felt buffing wheel. I like to use these as a backer. And what we have here is the sandpaper, and it's mounted on foam. Okay, now what that does is that gives that thin piece of sandpaper some integrity. So even if it catches, like here, you can see right here in the corner, in the corner of the circle. Right here, it tore a little bit, but it didn't, shred that thing off in the same way right here. And normally that's what would happen, quite frequently. You're dremeling away, zzz, and it catches and the paper just rips like the whole side of it out. So if you make them like this, they're a lot less expensive and they don't rip out near as easy as just the plain ones do. And I know you can get a mandrel that has like a backing plate on it, but it still doesn't attach to the sandpaper to hold it from, freaking out, splitting. So this is a relatively easy thing to make, but I think it's something that a lot of people don't really know how to make. So what we need is sandpaper, of course. And this is basic Harbor Freight sandpaper. The newer stuff they have now, the paper is actually thinner than this. So, that makes it even more prone to tear out. So you need your sandpaper and whatever grit you want. Right now I'm going to make some 500s. And one of these. And these are the cheap dollar store, Dollar Tree, Dollar General, Walmart has them. You can pick them up basically any hobby store. They're the foam craft sheets, but they have an adhesive backing on it. And that makes it a lot easier to do this. So you need your sandpaper, your adhesive backing sheet, your adhesive backed foam sheet, that's it. And something to make a circle with. Okay, and another thing about them, this is about the size of the ones that you buy. As you notice, this one that I made is a little bit bigger. See, it's bigger. And I prefer it bigger because I'll put one of these felt wheels on there as a backer, and that gives you a small turned up area when you're working, so you have a sort of a rounded surface if you want it. You can fit down in some cracks or gentle slopiness thingies. And this is my highly advanced tool for making my circles. This is a pill bottle. Okay, now you could use a bottle cap if you wanted to make a bigger disc. There's a lid. Okay, maybe lid off pop can, lid off of a container. This is what I have 600 grit discs in. Okay, look around for lids, look around for pill bottles. I'm sure you got some pill bottles lying around. And on the bottom of this particular type of pill bottle, and this is from Yeah, you all recognize where that's from. Okay, on this one, there's this little lip. Okay, that's all you really need. That makes it work. And in the center, because these pill bottles are nice that they give you this milling mark right in the center of the circle. And I took a regular old pin with a big head. I didn't have this. The smaller pins would have worked better probably, but this one I happened to have just laying here. And I heated the end up with a lighter and melted it through, put some super glue around it, smushed the head down, and it's pretty well set in there. And this one, since it was a little bit bigger, I took a file and gently filed the top down. You know, it's not perfectly flat with the rim, but that doesn't matter. Matter of fact, that's good. So here we have our wheel template. So what we're going to do, and this is extremely simple. Extremely simple. You can see these sheets fit almost halfway on a sheet of sandpaper. So I'm going to take and peel this adhesive backing off. This could take a while to get it started. There it is. Okay, and sometimes I'll even do this with just a half sheet, but it's no big deal. And then you're going to take it here and put it on the back of your sandpaper. You know, you want to get it as close to the edge as possible. Get it as straight as possible. And there it is. You are halfway done. You have just backed. You know, and you can take a pencil or something and go over it, or just smash it down with your fingers. It doesn't matter. Okay, you have made your adhesive foam backed blank for your disc. Now I'm just going to cut this extra sandpaper off. And here's another Dollar Tree item. You know, a junky old pair of scissors. Cheap pair of scissors that you're going to use to cut stuff like sandpaper. You know, don't get your partner's good shears that they use for like crafting and whatnot, because that's a good way to get knocked in the head, basically, because you don't want to cut through sandpaper with something like that. You know, they're cheap. Pick up a dollar store pair of scissors. Right? Now, next thing you need is an ink pad. And like I said, you can pick them up cheap. And if you don't have an ink pad, you can do it with a Sharpie too. And if you're doing it with a Sharpie, you know, you got to be just a little bit quick about it. Go around the edge of that thing and then go right to the edge of there. Push down, give a little twist, boom. Wow, there's a lot on there. Okay, I can do it again probably. Yep, there we go. You know, you don't want to crank it because you'll get a really wide mark. And all you really need is just a mark like that. So you can get maybe 2 of them out of there, 2, 3, that's decent with the Sharpie. But if you have the ink stamp pad, stamp it. Bump. Bump. Stamp it. Bump. Bump. You really don't have to say bump either. Okay. Bump. Bump. Don't know why I did that. So let's leave it at that. So right there, we've made plenty of marks. And let me see if I can pull it up here so you can see. Even without ink or anything on there, that pinhead made a mark where the center basically is. Now you are nearly there. This is, like I said, this is simple to make these. Now all you need to do, and I just like to cut a few out at a time when I do this. Okay. And just go around. And of course use your junky scissors that you cut sandpaper with. And the thing is, you don't have to be absolutely precise, because it's not really going to matter. And there you have your disc. And it's backed with a piece of foam, which gives it some integrity. And if you want to, before you cut them, you can take, here's just a big sticky pin, and poke a hole in it. Now you can do that before you cut them or after you cut them. And that just starts the hole for when you put it on the mandrel. And when you're down to a tiny little circle mark like that, you know, I said you don't have to be super precise. Because it's not like these things have to be precision balanced to work in your Dremel. It's not going to throw it off that badly. Okay, and then just continue to cut these babies out. You know, and you can, you know, with this small sheet of foam backing, you can get yourself a truckload of these, and you don't have to worry about, you know, like running out. You could, when you buy these sheets, they come in a pack like this thick. They're just a few bucks. And I mean, how many could you even get out of here? My gosh. I mean, what? Wow, the ink's still on there. Okay, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 4, 28. You can get 28 out of this. And then you'll have a strip here on the end that you can make smaller discs out of. You know, and I'm just going to poke these. Now we got our center hole started. We've got these basically marked and ready to go. And it took, as long as it took me to explain it to you, that's how long it took. And I would recommend taking a Sharpie and writing on each one what grit it is. Because unless you are consistent with your color coding, you know, you're not going to know what these guys are. And it's good to have a pen that writes good too. I don't know if pencil will do it. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's just perfect. No, I would not recommend using a pencil. But a Sharpie, yeah, this Sharpie's pretty well wore out. Oh, that Sharpie works better. Yeah, this was a Micron pen. I thought this, I was writing on rocks with this the other day and it wasn't doing real well, but apparently it's doing well for the foam. And it's that simple. Okay, and we got the mandrel here. So I'm going to show you how I put the, I mean, this is just dead simple. You got the hole there, and this one has an extremely big screw in it, so I might have to poke it through again. Some of the other ones have really, really tiny screws. You know, just put that, oh, and of course I can't do it today. You know, put that on there, poke it through, push it through there. And it's like, well, it's going to be big, it's going to be big. And it's like, yeah, just, there you go. Going to be too big to fit it? No, it's not. And there you have it. And as I was saying, you know, this one, I was using this, it's wore down, this one's wore down a little bit, but you can see this one comes out over the edge of the mandrel, or the foam pad. So when you're using it, you can see what happens. It will mold up along the edge of that, whatever surface you're using. and give you a nice rounded edge. And the foam adhered to the sandpaper keeps it from tearing. I mean, if you've used these before, you know what I'm talking about. If it catches something and little nick right here, and it just tear that right off, or just peel it right off, or the whole thing goes bing, it goes flying off into outer space somewhere. Yes, that is it. And you can make a crap load of these in a short period of time. And then even after you've had them, like this one here has got, you know, it's torn a little bit around the edges. Yeah, well, just trim it. It's no big deal to trim that wheel up a little bit, because I find myself, I end up using that edge as it turns. And even though it won't be as big as this one on here, you can still put it on there and use it. And that is how I make these wheels. And for like I said, for touching something up, maybe hitting the edge of a stone that, you know, you hit it on the wheel and you find it, oh man, there's a little rust spot there, maybe it got nicked. These work great for that. Just work that edge. Or if you're doing any type of carving or intarsia work, these work great for that. And you can make whatever grit you want. Like 500 grit, I use 1000 grit. I got 1200 grit over there. I even got some 100 grit that I'll use for wood, and though that's really nice too. But you can make them customized. You know, doesn't take long, and they work very efficiently, extremely efficiently. And all you need is your sandpaper, a foam pad, a pill bottle template or a bottle cap, anything like that that you can get, you know, a round mark to stamp with. Boom. And there you go. So, if you liked the video, hit the button down there, subscribe, ring the bell, and then you'll know when I'm doing more of this stuff. And I hope I can bring some stuff out to you that's actually important and usable. You know, I don't always just cut stones every day. I like to build things, and sometimes a little, I don't want to say hack, because it's not, I hate that word. I really do. I don't want to say it's a hack. It's something that you can make on your own instead of buying it. That often works better than what you could buy. So hopefully I'll be back with more of those too. So thanks for spending some time with me, and have a good evening.